All right, welcome back, everybody. After the airstrikes on Syria, a refugee who survived another chemical attack has a message for President Trump.
I would love to buy you a beer and just sit in front of you and tell you how bad it is in Syria. You proved once again yesterday that you have a big heart, at least a lot more bigger than Obama.
Well, Qasim Eid says he's been waiting for a world leader to intervene in Syria. He wrote that in his book, My Country, a Syrian Memoir. Qasim, welcome, and thanks so much for joining us. I understand in 2012, that was you being bombed, and that was your town being destroyed. 10,000 or so civilians sheltering, looking for eating trash and leaves in order to survive. Nothing's gotten better. In fact, it's gotten worse.
Thank you so much for having me. I was exposed to Assad's massacre and chemical massacre back in 2013. I lived for 2 years under siege and bombardment. I lived my entire life under a dictatorship that always taught us in school that America is the enemy, that the Holocaust never existed, that Hitler was a great leader. I lived in a dictatorship when we were isolated from the world. And 2011, when we marched in the streets peacefully, just asking for freedom and democracy, asking for free elections, for just the simple rights that you have it here, you're blessed with freedom here in the United States, but in Syria and in many countries, we paid a big price of blood and sacrifices just to get that right, and so far we failed.
So it failed, and now you have estimated 500,000 dead in Syria. Not many even people thought Bashar Assad, the eye doctor, would be as evil as his dad, but he's actually worse. When President Obama becomes president, he gives a Cairo speech, and you cheered. You said, this is going to be fantastic. But then the red line was ignored, and we watched all these people die. We did almost nothing. What does it mean to you that we've struck at least twice and put 2,000 troops in that area?
Well, it means the world to me, because I've been looking up for the United States as a role model in freedom and democracy, just like millions, maybe billions of people around the world who live under dictatorship look up to you guys and see you as the example for a life that we all want to have. That's why people are doing all those sacrifices back in my country. That's why a lot of people paid their lives, more than 500,000 people, and still we are asking for the same simple rights. We want freedom. We want democracy. U.S. strikes against Assad meant the world to us because it showed us that the United States actually care. And the bad days of Obama's inaction are over, hopefully forever.
Well, now you got the Russians in there. They're going to make things better or worse?
Well, the Russians have been there for more than 40 years. They've been close allies to Bashar's father, Hafez. They've been always anti the United States in Syria. But when the revolution started, we wanted to shift. We wanted to be more into a freedom and democracy country. But the Russians right now should have a clear message that the United States will not tolerate war crimes. And we wish that President Trump will double down on his action and go and bomb Animal Assad back to the zoo.
That would be interesting. I'd hate to see we're going to pull out having done just this. Qasim Eid, thanks so much. Glad you're okay. Glad you're enjoying the country. Hopefully others will enjoy that same freedom.